Good guy, that Mike Garafolo. As promised, it's time for our weekly visit from Mike Garafolo from the NFL Network. Patrick Mahomes, to play or not to play? That is the question. Mike!
If he's gonna practice fully on a Tuesday, he's playing, and we can see where this is going. And Jay, it's that high ankle sprain which he's had before. Now it was in the Super Bowl where he played through it. Remember that shot of him on the sideline when he aggravated it right before halftime? He was just in agonizing pain. As a matter of fact, they had the audio of it when they did that Netflix show Quarterback a couple of years ago, which if you go back to that show, they did a great job of showing everything that he does with his trainer on a weekly basis to ensure his flexibility, to ensure his ability to recover. He really goes hard with his workouts during the week. You wouldn't know it when you look at the dad bod. We've seen shots of Patrick Mahomes with his shirt off, but he's got incredible athletic ability, and he's got the ability to recover and to sustain his health over the course of his playing career. So I'm not surprised. Once we got out of Sunday and it was like, it's not broken, sure, it's a mild high ankle, I was like, this guy's playing. And it's not like he's going to sit there and say, well, I could sit out this week and come back shortly after that with Christmas because they've got a weird week here with the Saturday into the Wednesday. But I just, when he's practicing fully on a Tuesday, I find it really hard to believe that he is going to sit out. Carson Wentz did well in relief. Carson Wentz did well last year with the Rams as well in the game that set him up for the chance to beat Patrick Mahomes' backup. But looking at where they are right now and the fact that they've got a chance to close out the number one seed, they don't want to give up that advantage there. I fully expect Patrick Mahomes to play. Maybe I'll be proven wrong, but I do know that there's optimism he's going to be able to go inside that building in Kansas City.
All right, so Patrick Mahomes trying to play Saturday. Also trying to play this Saturday is T.J. Watt trying to play the Ravens. If the Steelers beat the Ravens, they clinch the division. What's the latest on T.J. Watt and whether he'll be available with that ankle injury?
Seems like, Jay, it was more of a scare on Sunday than anything. And kind of like Patrick Mahomes, when T.J. Watt and you start to hear optimism about his ability to play, it's like, okay, check it off. He's going to play. I mean, he's going to do everything he possibly can with that low ankle sprain. Sometimes you can get it, you can roll it a little bit, and there could be a fracture there. So that was the immediate concern. That's why he went off the field to go get x-rays to make sure that there was no break there. The game had sort of already been decided at that point. But T.J. Watt with that low ankle sprain, which is painful, by the way. It's like sometimes we say, oh, this painful, devastating high ankle sprain. It's like, it's just a low ankle sprain. That can be extremely painful as well. But certainly the recovery time not as long as the high ankle. So the expectation or the hope in Pittsburgh is that he is going to be able to go this weekend for the Pittsburgh Steelers, which is of utmost importance right now because not only of his ability to rush the passer, but also to play the run as well, the complete player on the edge. They've got multiple guys that can play the edge, but clearly there's no replacing T.J. Watt.
And the Atlanta Falcons made it a little too interesting against the Raiders on Monday. Kirk Cousins said, hey, I got to play better. Well, he's not going to get that chance, Mike, because the Falcons have decided to replace Cousins with Michael Penix Jr., the rookie they took in the first round, surprised everybody. Penix will play against the Giants this week. And, Mike, this isn't a trial process, is this? Like, this is a permanent thing for this season.
No, this is going to be it right here for Kirk Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons. In fact, earlier in the day, after Raheem Morris had kind of indicated that this was up for debate, which everybody said, whoa, that is an indication of what's likely coming here, did have a communication with a Falcon source who says, you're seeing what I'm seeing. That is not the same Kirk Cousins as we have seen throughout the course of his career. So in large part, they believe, for whatever reason, whether it's coming off the Achilles or just father time caught up to him, that they signed a guy who is not meeting the expectations that they had based on what they had seen previously of him. I go back to week one. He looked so bad in week one. The offense looked so bad in week one. Then he recovered from that. I was like, oh, it's just a little blip as he's coming back from that Achilles, getting adjusted to a new team, getting adjusted to a new offense. But now he's back to showing what he showed early in the season. So the Falcons making this move to Penix, who didn't play much in the preseason. Remember, he played a little bit and then they shut him down. Said, hey, we saw everything we needed to see, which I thought was weird at the time. And I still think is weird because I think that they didn't want him necessarily playing so well that Cousins was going to have him breathing down his neck. But at this point, you've got the game against the Giants. Maybe if Penix even has a couple of hiccups, you should be able to win that game. So this is a good time, they feel, to get him in there and get adjusted before a huge game against the Commanders, as they're trying to edge out the Bucs here for the NFC South. They're frustrated with the fact that they've given this away. They were in the driver's seat in the division, and now all of a sudden they're having to play catch-up with the Buccaneers, who all of a sudden are surging as well. So Cousins has got $27 million more guaranteed next year. There's also another $10 million that can trigger if he's on the team at the start of the league year. That, by the way, is also guaranteed for injury. So by taking him off the field, you're saving potentially another $10 million. But at some point, you may have to bite the bullet on that $27 million to release him or to trade him. And he does have a no-trade clause, Jay, so he has control over his future. But if you trade him, does the next team take on all that $27 million? If you knock that down and you pay some of it, that could help you get better compensation in return. Or maybe it's just that team's going to take him off of your hands and you get whatever you can get compensation-wise. But I think there's going to be interest in Kirk Cousins for other teams to be a starting quarterback or maybe a bridge quarterback in 2025 and maybe saying, hey, that was just a little bit of a hiccup. He's still got some good football left. We shall see. But for now, it is Penix. He has gotten reps in practice. They repped with the second team a little bit. You know, some teams will throw the rookie in with the first teamer to get him some reps. He doesn't get a lot. Gets most of his work with the scout team. And again, we haven't seen him much since the early part of the preseason. So this is going to be very interesting, Jay.
And the whole reason Cousins chose Atlanta is his wife is from Atlanta. It was like a homecoming. So this is just a beyond awkward situation. Mike, this might be the last time we talked before Christmas. And last year, when we asked you what you wanted from Santa, you replied, silence. Is there anything you particularly want under the tree this year, Mike?
I'd love a vacation, and it doesn't even have to be anywhere special or warm, Jay. I'm just, you get to this point in the season, and you go, oh man, it's like the Super Bowl's still so far away. We got to work the. And then once you get it's right into free agency, it's right into the combine, it's right into the draft. So we don't really get a breath until May. So I try not to look up at the calendar, but I mean, if Santa wants to find a way to create some Christmas magic and give me a chance to have a week, doesn't have to be alone. I'll bring my family. But we could use a blow here.
You can bring your family as long as you do not bring your Speedo. Mike, happy holidays.
Hey, man, there's only one way to put it all on display, Jay. Got to bring that Speedo.